What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into episode 28, everybody. I am your host, SleezBall. Today's episode, we are going to be going over my top 32 running back rankings heading into week one. So whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple, or watching on YouTube, all the support has been appreciated, guys. And before we dive into it, man, if you guys have any fantasy football questions at all, drop them in the comments. Doesn't have to be related to the video or anything. I'll try to get to all of them as fast as I can, answer them. I'm here to help you win your fantasy football championships. And as always, guys, make sure you smash that like and subscribe. All the support has been appreciated. And let's dive into it here. So here is my board, guys. You're going to see the ballers tier, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. I'm going to rank out my top 32 running backs. I'm going to use PFF, so shout out to Pro Football Focus. I'm going to use their ranks for the offensive line and their ranks for the defense at the same time and give you my matchups of why I like each player at their ranking spot and how I'll talk a little bit about the team and offensive line and how I think it's going to go this week. So starting off with number 1, and this one very, very much depends on Trent Williams' holdout, which is happening right now. And it's Christian McCaffrey. It's going to be Christian McCaffrey every single time, probably every week, unless he gets hurt, man. This guy is a fantasy phenom. He can drop 20, 30 points, win you a week, any single week, no matter what your scoring system is. Now, they go up against the Jets' #1 defense, and they have the 24th ranked offensive line. But with Shanahan's schemes and stuff, again, I'm not worried ever about Christian McCaffrey. The only thing that really does worry me is Trent Williams. If he isn't out there, I will drop Christian McCaffrey down to like 3 or 4 because Trent Williams is such a monster left tackle. It's ridiculous. Heading over to number 2 here, we're going to stick with the same matchup, Monday Night Football, Breece Hall. Now, Breece Hall was RB2 last year without Aaron Rodgers. Now, Aaron Rodgers is back healthy. I know he's 40 years old, off an Achilles. They're going up against the 49ers. The 49ers defense is ranked 2nd in PFF. The Jets offensive line is ranked 5th. So if you look at that as a metric compared to CMC for week 1, you could even put Breece Hall over CMC just because the offensive line is better and the defense is about the same. So heading to number 3 here, Bijan Robinson. They do have a very tough first matchup versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh defense ranks 8th. The Falcons offensive line ranks 6th. But I am not worried at all about these updates of Tyler Algier is going to see a 50-50 split. I don't buy any of that. I fully believe now that Arthur Smith is gone, this is going to be the Bijan Robinson show. It better be, man. If I see Tyler Algier get 40% snaps, I'm going to lose my mind for my week 2 rankings, and I'm going to feel so bad for the drafters of Bijan Robinson after 1 week. My number 4 running back is going to be Jonathan Taylor. Gets the dome game at home versus the Texans. The Texans defense ranks 10th right now. The Colts offensive line ranks 3rd. Absolutely massive offensive line. No holdout this year. Anthony Richardson is now back healthy. The RPO will be so dangerous between them two. It's like a Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry type look here. And you're going to have Adonai Mitchell, who looks amazing in the preseason, to go along with Michael Pittman, Josh Downs. We can see out there, hopefully, with the injury, he comes back. I love Jonathan Taylor so much this week. He's one of my favorite smash DFS plays at value as well. Heading into number 5, Saquonda forever. Saquon Barkley, man, I cannot wait to see this guy play for the Eagles. So he gets Green Bay Friday night lights here. The first Friday night game, and I believe it's the first one ever, I'm pretty sure. They get Green Bay's defense. They're ranked 11th. The Eagles' offensive line is ranked 2nd. Saquon Barkley balled out with 80% snap share last year behind the terrible Giants. Imagine what is going to happen this year. I'm telling you right now, Jalen Hurts' tush pushes are going to be reduced because the Eagles haven't had a goal line back in 3 years. Man, they've had Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell, DeAndre Swift, all these small guys. Now you're going to get to see the big boy, and he's going to electrify people this year in fantasy football. Number 6, Kyren Williams going up at Detroit. So Detroit's defense got a little better from last year to this year. They were like 23rd, 24th to start the season last year. Now they're 14th. You got the Rams offensive line, which ranks 16th. And I don't want to hear anything about this guy being named a punt returner and making you nervous because he's on the punt return. Dude, he was on the punt return last year for 3 weeks and still had 86% snap share. This guy's an absolute workhorse. He wants to do everything to help the team win. And when I look at that situation, I don't believe at all that Blake Corum is going to see 35 to 40% snap share. He's not. This rookie running back class had their first running back go off the board in the second round with a torn ACL for a reason. This running back class was not as good as people think. It's just rookie hype. Kyren Williams averaged 21.7 points per game last year, which is CMC numbers in the pros. Don't ever look at a rookie running back coming in thinking he's going to touch that job. And the Rams defense is so bad that you want your playmakers on the field any chance you can to score. So you get extra opportunity with him even being the punt returner, which is another plus. I absolutely love Kyren Williams. I'm buying the dip that's happening right now with everything I can. It's unbelievable. Number 7 is my guy. The founder is right here from last year. I was tweeting about Devon Achane all year before every single content creator. I don't care what anyone says. This guy is my guy every week. He will always be in my ballers tier whenever he's healthy on the field. He's going to get the Jacksonville Jaguars in week 1. They're the 13th ranked defense. The Dolphins offensive line is ranked 18th. But the way they scheme things, it's like the 49ers and Shanahan, straight from the system. Straight from Shanahan's system is Mike McDaniels. And they just move the running back so many ways. It's so hard to stop. I firmly don't believe that Mostert's going to have his 21 touchdown season again. This is going to be the Devon Achane show now, and Mostert is going to take a back seat to it. Yes, he'll be out there still a little bit. Yes, I like Mostert at value, but I'm all in on Devon Achane. And if he plays 17 games healthy, I've been saying all year, he has a chance of being number 1 running back. That's it for the ballers tier. Heading out of tier 1, we're going to rumble it out for the NFL kickoff game here with Derrick Henry. Gets the Kansas City Chiefs. Their defense ranks 10th. They got a little worse from last year. They were ranked about 6th, 7th last year. But now the Ravens O-line ranks 25th. But this guy doesn't need an O-line. It never had in his entire career. It doesn't matter. This guy's so big. He rumbles, bumbles, stumbles over everybody. He's probably going to see 15-plus touchdowns this year. The RPO, like I said, with Anthony Richardson and JT and Lamar and Derrick Henry is going to be absolutely nuts to stop. In this game, I just can't wait for the NFL kickoff to happen. We're 1 week away, baby. Come on! Heading down to running back 9. God, that hamstring injury. If he didn't have his little hamstring injury, that scares me. Jahmyr Gibbs. He is here for the show, guys. And this matchup week 1 is so juicy that I'm going to talk about both of them here. So I'm going to skip and put up my number 10 also. So I have both the Detroit Lions running backs in my tier 1, in my top 10 running backs this season. And I'm going to tell you why here. The Rams defense ranks 31st, and they just traded away one of their best players they have on defense. This defense is going to get absolutely smoked every single week. You want to start every freaking player you have in fantasy football. Write this down right now. You want to start every player you can that's a star against the Rams defense all year long. They're going to absolutely feast right here. And guess what? The Detroit Lions offensive line ranks number 1. They are going to be running all over this team. They get 14 games in a dome this year, too. I love everything about these two running backs. The hamstring does make me nervous, but you're also going to see Jahmyr Gibbs lining up in the slot from what they're saying. About a 30% slot chance as well. Same with Achane on his talk as well. He could be lining up in the slot. These are things to love about running backs, and these are absolute smash plays. My number 9 running back is going to be number 10 running back is going to be Travis Etienne. So Montgomery was 11. My fault on that one. Etienne gets the Miami defense, which the Miami defense is actually very improved this year. They are number 6th ranked defense. The Jacksonville Jaguars have the number 23 ranked O-line. But why I love Etienne so much isn't just because last year he balled out and was running back 4. Is also because Trevor Lawrence was hampered last year. And they were still loading up boxes against Etienne. He's still making plays. He's a great pass-catching back as well. He averaged 16.6 points last year, and I expect that to be in the same range or go up even more this year. Heading into number 12, one of my favorite running backs this year and one of my favorite matchups in week 1 for DFS, or if you play DFS or whatever you have, you better make sure James Cook is in your starting lineup. They play the Arizona Cardinals. Sorry. I'm still trying to get over this cough from last weekend. It's driving me nuts. So the Arizona Cardinals defense ranks dead last, boys. So when I say Cardinals and Rams, you start everybody against the Cardinals and the Rams, no matter what the position is. These defenses are the two worst defenses in the NFL. James Cook is going to absolutely feast. Now that you have Diggs out of town, Gabe Davis out of town, over 200 plus vacated targets. They bring in Keon Coleman. They have Kincaid, Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir. They're not going to take that work. James Cook was a great pass-catching back last year. He's going to be a top 10 running back this year, and people do not know it. I absolutely love this play this week, and I almost thought about like moving him into like the top 8. That's how high I am on James Cook this season. I just can't put him over these guys right now. And I don't buy any of the Ray Davis preseason hype. That's it for Tier 1. Heading into Tier 2 here. Kenneth, the K9 Bark Adam Walker, gets the Denver Broncos Week 1 with Bo Nix at the helm. Denver's defense ranks 24. Seattle's offensive line is very bad. It ranks 31. Now, you've seen the updates. Charbonnet has not looked good. He's almost losing the job to McIntosh. This is going to be a full K9 workhorse back role this season, and this man is so undervalued. Ben Grubb's new system he's bringing in from Washington is going to be fast-paced. You've seen the preseason. You've seen how it looks. They are going to be electric, and K9 is going to be an absolute steal in fantasy drafts. He's getting a lot higher in ADP, but I'm still willing to pay the price, and I absolutely love him in Week 1. He's going to be a smash play. Number 14 is Alvin Kamara, and this man is going to be a league winner again. We just got the news. Kendre Miller going to be on the pup, so you're going to be looking at old man Jamal Williams, possibly some Taysom Hill goal line carries. Yeah, that'll take away from Kamara. But what do you think he's going to thrive at? He's going to have 100-plus catches this season, and let me tell you why. The Saints' offensive line is the worst in the league. What happens when your offensive line is the worst in the league? You got to make quick passes, quick throws, and who's the best running back in the past 7 years, just catching the ball every time and making plays? That's Alvin freaking Kamara. Now, the Panthers defense ranks 27th. So this is going to be an absolute smash play Week 1 for Alvin Kamara. It is unbelievable. I can't believe he's going so low in drafts. It drives me nuts. Heading down to number 15 here, it is going to be Rashad Silky Smooth White. This matchup is juicy as well. So remember these three names for Week 1 if you play DFS or whatever your lineup is. Alvin Kamara, Rashad White, and James Cook all have insane, juicy matchups to go along with the Lions, right? The Lions you're obviously going to put in there no matter what. But he gets Washington. Washington defense ranks 31st. They're at home. The Bucs offensive line ranks 17th. I know the Bucs lost Dave Canales as their offensive coordinator. He's the head coach of Carolina now. They bring in Liam Cohen from Kentucky, who will see how fast-paced his offense looks. But I think they roll over Washington and Jaden Daniels' first game. Preseason hype gets everybody. You got to see it when it's real. I'm smashing Rashad White as a start this week. Number 16, Isaiah Pacheco. This one, it hurts me a lot because I love Isaiah Pacheco this year. I just don't love Isaiah Pacheco. Like I put him top 10 every single time, but possibly this week. They get the Thursday night opener. Opening game, teams are usually sluggish out the start, so you'll probably see it kick in like second half. But they get the Baltimore Ravens. And the Baltimore Ravens is the second best run D. They had the least yards allowed against them in the run last year. It's going to be rough. And they just signed Samaje Perine, which scares some people away, thinking he's going to take the third down role. I don't believe that yet. There's a reason he was cut from Denver, but we'll see how it goes Week 1. But I have him a lot lower tempered this week just because it's opening week and because he gets the Ravens' nasty run defense. Heading down to number 17, Joe Mixon, new Houston Texans running back to go along with this potent offense. This man could be an absolute smash play all year in fantasy, and it's absolutely nuts. But the Texans' O-line does rank 22nd. It's not the best. And Indy's defense ranks 12th. So this is kind of a middle-of-the-mud matchup here. We don't know how it's going to look yet with the Texans offense with all the weapons and how the target share is going to play out. And Joe Mixon's a great pass-catching back as well. But I look at Joe Mixon this season as that running back who garbage time, when the Texans have big leads on team, he's just going to feast. This isn't one of those games where I have Joe Mixon as a feast garbage time game. I think the Colts are firmly going to be good this year. It's going to be one of my favorite games to watch, but I'm going to leave Joe Mixon at 17. Number 18, the most underrated running back in fantasy football, James Conner. Now, like I said with the Arizona defense before we dive into why I like James Conner a lot, but I still have him ranked 18th. The Buffalo defense is ranked 9. They're on the road at Buffalo. West Coast teams, when they travel east, no matter what, early games, mid games, night games, they struggle. Okay. But you get Kyler Murray healthy. You have Marvin Harrison now. You have blanking. Trey McBride, my favorite tight end this season. All the weapons are there. But like I said, their defense is so bad. This is why James Conner can be drafted with ease. I know he has a little injury scare every time, but you draft him with ease because this offense is going to have to score so many points, just like the Rams. Like, they're going to have to just score to keep up because their defense isn't going to stop anybody. I just think the matchup at Buffalo is going to be a little rough week 1. Otherwise, I would have James Conner a lot higher. Number 19, heading out of tier 3, we're going to start off with Josh Jacobs. Friday Night Lights gets at Philly. So this is like another James Conner thing. I know Philly's defense ranks 18th, but I think it's a little better than that. That's PFF rank. Packers offensive line ranks 14th. I firmly believe Josh Jacobs is going to be the absolute workhorse. I feel like they got a steal on him last year with the Raiders. He faced the most stacked boxes in the NFL, and they thought that he was done, and he's going to prove everyone wrong this season. I firmly believe that. I just don't like the Friday game. I just don't like at Philly. I love the Green Bay offense. They're going to be electric this season. I just wanted to see how it looks kind of first with him, and I want to see a better matchup. And I could let's get a little momentum going. Let's get a little movement. See how it goes. First Friday night game makes me nervous with Josh Jacobs. Number 20, Ramondre Stevenson, and man, I was super high on this guy. Now they're starting Jacoby Brissett, so I may even drop this, but like in my end of the week rankings. But they get at Cincy. Cincy's defense is ranked 19th. The Pats offensive line is ranked 28th. The new offensive coordinator, Alex Van Pelt, has never even, he's been in the NFL for 20 plus years. Every team he's been on, he's never had a running back with over 45 receptions in a season. So with the Patriots playing from 90% from behind, you got to think that he's going to break that 45 reception mark. I hope it is. But this offense, man, I love Ramondre Stevenson so much too. This offense is just hurting him. It's just burying him. Number 21, we're going to go with the old man, Aaron Jones. So Aaron Jones gets a beautiful week 1 matchup here. He does have Sam Darnold at the helm. The New York Giants defense ranks 25th. The Vikings offensive line ranks 13th. This should be smashed. You get Danny Dimes, who's probably going to throw 2-3 picks. You're going to get more opportunity offensively. I'm just always worried about his injury heading into age 30 with 5 MCL injuries to his right knee. His right hamstring's been hurt. His right ankle's been hurt in his career. His right leg is very beat up and he's old. But as long as he's out there, we are going to be starting this guy 100%, especially in this smash matchup versus the Giants. I love this start. Number 22, Raheem the Dream must start. Mostert gets Jacksonville. And like I said, so Jacksonville is, we'll talk about it again here. Their defense ranks 13th. The Finns offensive line ranks 18th, but that doesn't really matter because their scheme is so much different. But he's probably still going to see the goal line work. He's probably still going to see about 10 to 12 touches, and he's going to be a flex play weekly. I don't really like him as my running back 2 anymore, but I still think he gets 10 plus touchdowns this year if he can stay healthy. Like I just said with Aaron Jones, right? Raheem Mostert has 14 career injuries. And he is 32 years old. Now, you can look at it as he's 32 years old, and because of all the injuries, his body doesn't have that wear and tear of an NFL running back for that long. This is true. But his body also has the wear and tear from all the injuries, and the cap size is massively bigger for re-injury than it is saying that I'm a healthier running back. But, man, as long as he's out there, he's always going to probably be in my top 25 every single time. Running back 23. One of my favorite running backs to draft this year in the middle of rounds, Zamir the Zeus White. He gets the LA Chargers in LA week 1. LA Chargers defense ranks 24th. The Raiders offensive line ranks 19th. I think that's a little underranked by PFF. Antonio Pierce loves to run the football. They are going to be running 12 personnel, which is 2 tight end sets, using Mayer, using Bowers, even more blocking for Zamir. I think this is one of the most underrated running backs in fantasy football, and I will have him ranked a lot higher coming in the weeks coming after week 1. I firmly believe this. Running back 24 and 25, we're going to do together here. I don't know how to rank these guys, man. I don't think anybody does. I know that Jaylen Warren's hamstring, he's supposed to be back week 1. But you have, well, let's talk about the matchup first. They have at Atlanta. Their defense is ranked 26, but I don't think PFF accounted for the free agents they picked up in Simmons and I'm blanking on the guy's name. But they got two good defensive pieces added as well. Now, the Steelers had a great draft. They killed the offensive line in the offseason. Their offensive line now ranks in the top 10. It's now ranked number 9. But if you remember Bijan Robinson and Arthur Smith last year, right, you didn't know what to do. So Arthur Smith is now the OC. So that's why I have them side by side, because I don't know who to rank over any of them or anything. And my cat is just going nuts. Quiet. So I'm going to leave them at 24 and 25. And if I had to pick one to start, I would go Najee just because of the hamstring. But the rest of it, it's tough to call. Got to get my cat to stop screaming over here. Quiet. Heading down to number 26 here, it's going to be DeAndre Swift. And why I'm so much lower than DeAndre Swift than others is because Khalil Herbert's a better running back. They always dress up DeAndre Swift as the RB1, and he's an RB2. It's how it is. So, and you're going to see a lot of Roshan Johnson probably at the goal line. I mean, he got 1,000 yards last year, but that was behind the number 1 offensive line with the Eagles. Now you got a little different look here. The Bears have the 11th ranked offensive line. The matchup with Tennessee is great. Tennessee is ranked 29th. It's just every time they get to the goal line in this guy's career for the past 3-4 years, it's always someone else. And if you go back and look at each year he's played, the running back behind him always has like 10 plus touchdowns, which is why he's always a tough start for me. And I'm going to leave him at 26 this week. Heading into 27, and man, does this guy look good. I hope you guys listened since the start of the season. I said Tony Pollard is going to outproduce Tyjae Spears by a mile, and he looks damn backed Tony Pollard. Last year, he played hurt all year, and the Cowboys just let him go, and he still had 1,000 yards and was still producing at a good rate. Yes, I know it's behind a way better Cowboys offensive line last year. I get that. The Titans offensive line ranks 30 this year, which is very bad. They get the Chicago Bears defense, which ranks 14th. At Chicago, though, too, so it's going to be a tough game. But the thing to look at here now is Derrick Henry is gone. Will Levis is now the quarterback. The offensive line has a huge shift, a whole rebuild. They bring in Latham in the draft. That's nice as well. But these are going to be passing backs that are used in space now more instead of up the gut. You probably see him get 10 to 12 carries, between the numbers like that. But he looks electric. I really like Tony Pollard this week, and I want to rank him higher. I just have to see the week 1 first. Number 28, a juicy matchup here as well for Devin Singletary. So Devin Singletary, the Giants line ranks 29th. Minnesota Vikings defense ranks 22nd. So I firmly believe that this is going to be a workhorse back role for Singletary to start the season. You might see a little Tyrone Tracy sprinkle in as third down back here and there. But the problem is the Giants offense is just going to be bad, man. It's just going to be really, really bad. But the volume could be there, and he could always fall into the end zone. You saw in the preseason, he scored a couple touchdowns. I know it's the preseason. I don't get too much into it. But, I mean, the volume is going to be here. Probably a 70% workload. Devin Singletary, it's just the situation is bad. That's the only reason I have him this low, because the Giants offense is just putrid, man. Number 29, heading out of my last tier here, is going to be Brian Robinson Jr. Yes, I'm ranking him over Austin Eckler. Do not fall for the fool's gold that Austin Eckler is going to be the starting running back. It is going to be the Brian Robinson show. You saw it in the preseason. They could have been holding out Eckler because he's older, but you saw the snap share how it went. Robinson dominated all the teams, all the reps of the starters. It was like 70 to 22% snap share. He's going to be the guy. Eckler may be the passing down back here and there, but I don't see Eckler having that big of a role this season. Now, they go at Tampa. Tampa's defense ranks 21st. Washington O-line ranks 27th. But what you have to realize here with how bad the Commanders' offensive line is, they bring in Jaden Daniels, speedster from LSU who rushed for over 1,000 yards in college in the SEC. What else do? They bring in Cliff Kingsbury, an offensive coordinator that runs a top 5 paced offense. What do top 5 paced offensives do? They help the offensive line. This is the strategy they are using this year, and Brian Robinson Jr. is going to absolutely feast this year, and people just do not know it. Number 30, and I only have him this low. I love Jerome Ford this season, especially with Nick Chubb on the pup. I know they cut Deontay Foreman, brought him back. That was a little strange, But Jerome Ford is going to be the guy. And this guy had 200 points in fantasy football last season, averaging 55% of the snaps. I mean, let's give him the job and see what happens here. But week 1, he gets Dallas. Dallas's defense is ranked number 1. Their defensive line is ranked number 1. And Deshaun Watson is a little sketchy, right? So they could even be loading the box. That Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy are out there. They'll pay attention to them with Njoku as well. I just don't like the matchup for week 1 with him, so I'm going to keep him at number 30. Number 31, Javonte Williams. The hype that everyone thinks is for a comeback player of the year just isn't going to happen, guys. I mean, the Denver Broncos are like the Patriots. They're going to be awful. So their first game, they bring in Bo Nix as a starter, right? He's named the starter week 1. Their first game is at the 12th man in Seattle. That place is going to be absolutely rocky. Seattle's offense looks lights out better than last year. This game could get away from them so fast that Javonte Williams probably sees 8 carries in this game. And you're going to see a lot more Jaleel McLaughlin out the backfield. And I've been saying all year that I think Jaleel McLaughlin is going to outscore Javonte Williams anyway. But you guys are going to get to find out week 1. And I'll be changing this ranking probably after that. I'm just leaving him here for now. Making the end here, number 32 in week 1 is Gus Bus Edwards. So I know this guy fell into the end zone a lot with the Ravens last season, right? 12 rushing touchdowns. He is a north and south runner. He's not going to get out in space. He's not going to get catches, but he gets the Raiders defense. The Raiders defense is better than people think. It is ranked 16th. The Chargers O-line ranks 12th. So you're about middle of the pack on both sides here. But it's scary because J.K. Dobbins is going to be their electric player if he can stay healthy, right? He's going to be the guy out in space. He's going to be the guy getting the pass catches. I almost threw him side by side here with him because I don't know which one of these guys I want to start. This is a very hard week 1 call. And you get the Harbaugh run game here too. So, I mean, that's why I'm struggling with this one so much, because Harbaugh loves to pound the run. He's been successful everywhere he's been running the football. That is his mantra. And I'm just going to leave him at 32. And if I had another spot here to the right, I would put J.K. Dobbins 33 because I just don't know how it's going to play out with the Chargers yet. And it's a very, very, very tough call. That was it for episode 28, my week 1 running back rankings, guys. Whether you were listening on Spotify, Apple, whether you're watching on YouTube, all the support has been absolutely amazing. I can't thank you guys enough. Do me a favor before I tell you how what my next video is going to be. Smash that like, drop a comment, anything fantasy football you have. Make sure you turn that bell on, hit that subscribe button. All the support has been insane to start this. I mean, I started this journey about 2 months ago on YouTube, and all you guys have been just absolutely insane. I can't thank you guys enough. My next episode is going to be my top 32 wide receivers. That will probably drop either tonight or tomorrow. And that's it for me, guys. I will catch you in the next video. SleezBall out.